Welcome to Pinhole Quilting. I'm Liz and my husband Pete is behind the camera. We are very excited about the launch of Pro Stitcher Lite. We're waiting for our certification in the UK, but in the meantime we're going to show you unboxing the Pro Stitcher Lite. It's one box, everything is in here, but there's a few other things that you're going to need. We're going to show you how everything works in a series of videos. This video is going to show you the components that you'll need for both the Moxie and the Simply 16. If you've got any more questions, you can visit our website at www.pinholequilting.uk. And many of those questions will be answered on the website. But of course, if you have any further questions, you can just email us, or if you need to, you can give us a call and we'd be happy to answer your questions. And I'm sure if you've got any questions, those questions will be answered by either Pete or myself, and of course you can also come and visit us at our showroom if you'd like a demonstration. So with no further ado, let's unbox the Pro Stitcher Lite. Let's see what's in this box. Now this box here has got the carriage and various components in it, and we've only recently received it. So in some ways I'm discovering this pretty much at the same time as you are. It's well packed, it has a foam insert, so let's remove the pink foam insert that protects the contents. Inside you're going to find some paperwork that explains both how to build the Pro Stitcher Lite using the same app that you'll have built, the Moxie, which is the Built app. So there's a little leaflet in here on the Built app, and I'm going to find that in just a second. Here we go. The Built instructions. So you can download the Built app, and that will help you do the installation of the Pro Stitcher Lite. So I would recommend doing that, and I'll be doing that myself. I downloaded it.
So you can do that straight away. You don't have to wait to get Pro Stitcher Lite. If you want to see what's involved in setting it up, download the app now, search for Pro Stitcher Lite, and it'll show you exactly what you need to do. Yeah,
and we'll be going through that when we do the installation in the separate video. Okay, so that's one of the pieces of paper here. Oh, actually, very robust card. You've also got a reference to some of the downloadable designs that you can add to your Pro Stitcher Lite. You get a certain number of designs included, but Handy Quilter have referenced their quiltable.com website. So there's plenty of designs that you can get, which you can download as add-ons. So that's one of the bits of information you get. There's a quick reference guide, so when you're up and running, if you've not used it for a while, you can use this quick reference guide. But if you use it every day, of course you're going to want to use it every day, aren't you? Then this will become second nature. But if you don't use it every day, you can use this quick reference guide. And I'm just going to put those on one side because we won't be needing that right now. That's something that every now and then you're going to need to update the machine code and get your Pro Stitcher Lite up to date. So we're going to need to do that. And the Pro Stitcher for Moxie. These are the installation instructions. So as well as the app, there are some printed instructions from Handy Quilter which show us how to install it. So we'll be working our way through those, and they show you at the beginning what's included. So I'm going to turn to that page and just check off what's here.
Of course, if you buy Pro Stitcher Lite for your Simply 16, it'll be a separate brochure. All the components are the same very much, but the brochure is slightly different.
That's right. So perhaps if I just turn it sideways, if Pete needs to look at it as well, he can check it off. So the first component is this very guide, the Pro Stitcher Lite installation instructions, this guide. The second one is and I'm going to get these components out. There's a bag in here, and this bag has got some of these smaller components in it. So this is the Flexi rack track. This blue Flexi rack, we've actually got spare ones of these that you can buy if ever you damaged it. We don't find that this is a consumable part, but if people on our other studio frames or other frames, they change the size of it, sometimes they need to buy it. This should be good to go and you shouldn't need to change it. But say you changed your Moxie loft frame from one size, say an 8-foot to a 10-foot, you might need to buy another one of these. So this one here is, I believe that's a 10-foot, Pete.
Yes, it looks like they've supplied a 10-foot track, even though for the loft frame, you may only need 8 feet, in which case you'd cut it down. You'd need the full 10 feet if you have the 2-foot extension.
Yeah.
And if you've got either the Moxie or the Simply 16 on a little foot frame, you would only need to use half of that.
Yeah, so you'll be cutting this to size, and we'll be doing the installation of ours prior to doing a Facebook Live session, which you'll be able to watch on Catch Up or on YouTube. So that Flexi rack is where the Carriage assembly has these little cogwheels that the motors drive the Pro Stitcher around. This Flexi rack is permanently attached to your either loft frame or your little foot frame, and that's what this your Carriage motors will drive into on the frame. The next component is, I'm going to get these small bits out, and we'll just find these. This is attached and with kind of a double-sided tape, but either end of the Flexi rack, it is, oh, it's the one bit I didn't get out. It's got a drill bit, and it's got these screws and clamps that either end of the Flexi rack, it just holds it more firmly. So you're going to need a drill, and that drill bit just goes into your drill so that you can attach either end more firmly. The instructions show you how to do that. And
a small Phillips screwdriver. We'll show you how to do that when we attach it to the frame in a moment.
Yes. The next component is further down in this box, so we'll come to that in a moment. That is a really important component. It's your Pro Stitcher Lite tray assembly, okay, without the Carriage, because the main difference with Pro Stitcher Lite from the Pro Stitcher Premium that we've normally and previously supplied to all our Vanti, some of our Simply, and obviously the Mara, Infinity and the Forte customers, is it's normally that you get the whole Carriage with the Pro Stitcher included within it. The big difference with the Pro Stitcher Lite for the Moxie and the Simply is that you keep your Carriage and you actually put the assembly within the Carriage, and we're going to show you in a little bit more detail about that in a moment. So you also get your tablet bracket. So when you get your tablet included within the Pro Stitcher Lite package, and I'll show you that in a moment, this holds the tablet in place, and there's a thing you turn here to hold it firmly. So when it's being moved around on the machine, it won't fall off. Quite important, obviously.
So that bracket fixes to the front of your Moxie or your Simply 16.
Yeah. So that's that. I'll put that behind me. And you get mounting screws. So there's 3 mounting screws. That's that packet there. Next page. We get a Y-axis mounting bracket. I'll just pick that up out of here. It's on the 2nd level. This is like going into the 2nd level of the milk tray. This is your Y-axis mounting bracket, the bracket assembly. So this has got the same sort of blue Flexi rack, which drives the, which connects to the motor, and is what powers and moves the machine around on the Y assembly. This is attached to your Moxie or your Simply 16 on the underside, so you won't actually see that. This will be underneath the machine, and you'll attach it with 4 machine screws. So there is a packet with 4 machine screws, and there's holes pre-drilled on this Y-axis mounting bracket assembly, and you'll be attaching these to your machine. Okay, so that's that. You get a power cable. For the UK, you get a UK power cable, so that's there, 3-pin. And with the red little things that stop it getting pulled out very easily. That's really important. You get a tablet power cable. I'll just pull out these power cables so that we can identify those. So the tablet power cable, that will be this one. This one goes into the make of the tablet is called a Chewy, and that's the tablet power cable. We get a tablet USB cable, and that's what I've got in my hand. I'm about to look for it. That's the USB cable, so it's got standard USB cable either side. And we get our Pro Stitcher Lite tablet. This is the exciting bit. So I'll just open this up. You get an external power supply, which you won't really need, because it's permanently powered by that power cable that we just looked at. If I open this up, here is your Pro Stitcher Lite tablet.
So the Handy Quilter Pro Stitcher and Pro Stitcher Lite, they both come with the tablet included as part of the package.
Absolutely. This is why it makes it amazing value. It has a warning thing, like, warning. It says, warning, this tablet computer is not network enabled. And the reason is that the Windows tablet here is not designed to be connected to a network. They don't really want it so that the tablet is connected to your local area network and isn't constantly updated by Windows, because that makes it relatively unstable. So whatever network you have, we're not going to connect it to, and the same for ours here. And so the Windows is stable, the Pro Stitcher Lite gets updated by a USB stick. And that's the same for Pro Stitcher Premium. So here is our Pro Stitcher Lite tablet, a lovely chewy tablet, and we're going to be putting that onto our Pro Stitcher assembly, onto that tablet holder, and putting it onto our Moxie in a separate video.
It's very similar in size, actually, to the Pro Stitcher Premium tablet. It's exactly the same width as the Pro Stitcher Premium tablet and just 1 inch less tall. So it's really a very similar size. So the screen image is not much different than on the Premium product.
I'll put it safely back here with the screen side down. And the next thing we get here is the USB stick. So we get a USB stick that we have all the designs on that comes with Pro Stitcher Lite. And this is how we also, we've got some of those downloadable designs, perhaps we're on quiltable.com, and we say, right, we really want a lovely Christmas design for my Christmas quilt, and I've gone on quiltable.com and I've bought that. I want to download it. I put it onto my computer, onto my tablet, or onto my iPad. I plug in my USB stick, and then I take it to my Moxie or my Simply 16. I plug it into the side of my my machine, and I put it onto my Pro Stitcher Lite and I stitch it out. I use this USB stick, but I can use any other USB stick. This has got all the designs on it, and it's a good way to back up as well. So we'll go through all of that.
It's optional to add extra designs. Pro Stitcher Lite comes with approximately 250 designs already built in and already licensed.
The next thing that we have is a communications cable. This is how the Moxie and the Pro Stitcher Lite Carriage communicate with each other. It's really important, and it's got screws that enable it to communicate and be held safely. The next thing that we have is it's this little plastic thing that holds that in place and makes sure, it doesn't look like it's significant, but actually it is quite significant. It comes with a screw and a washer as well.
Just a cable clip.
It's just a cable clip, and it stops, because it's moving backwards and forwards. This is actually for the carriage, and that cable clip is to stop that communication cable perhaps getting pulled out. And it's one of those things that it looks like it wouldn't be particularly required, but actually we find that it's really useful. So it's an important part of the assembly. Definitely a step not to be skipped. There are a couple of US hex keys rather, and those are also important parts for you to be enabled to be doing the assembly. Now there are some extra bits and pieces which I'm not going to show you here, but I'm going to explain in a moment after I've taken this next layer off. They are itemized in here, but we're going to go into the next level, which has got the carriage. So let me just put this down. So the carriage, it's actually quite heavy. The same for the Pro Stitcher, for the Amara and the Avantis and stuff. They are pretty heavy. So this is the carriage that you're going to put into your this is the Pro Stitcher Lite
I think we call it the carriage tray.
It's the carriage tray,
that contains all the gears and the motors that actually move the machine.
Yeah, so here we see the black cogwheel that you're going to put, that's going to connect into that flexi rack, that blue flexi rack that we saw earlier. So that's for the Y. And on the underside, you can see the one that's for the X that Pete's just zooming in on there. And the black box that you can see just here, that's one of the motors, and this is the Y motor. Okay, so there we have it. That is the tray for the Pro Stitcher Lite. Exciting, this is what we've been waiting for. So we are really excited today to be able to show you how to assemble all of this, and we're going to do a separate video on that. In the meantime, the next bit I want to show you is the difference between the two carriages. So what we've got is Moxie and Simply 16. We can put the Pro Stitcher Lite on the Loft frame and on the Littlefoot frame. So let's just show what those two carriages look like. I'm just going to put them on here temporarily. The first one I'm going to show you, this is the Moxie, typically the Loft carriage. This has a 4-wheel carriage. So if I turn it upside down, you can see it much better. These are concave wheels. So these curve in, and it has 4 of these that go backwards and forwards to provide motion. You can see here, we need to do a little bit of cleaning. I've left this uncleaned because I'm actually going to use this to demonstrate how to do maintenance on this. This is the one that's nearest to where the oiling takes place, and you'll see that it builds up lint and gets compressed with oil, and it really does need to be cleaned on a regular basis, because you'll notice that when you do very small quilting, you really notice that your control is much less. Now that 4-wheel carriage, this is where we put that tray for the Pro Stitcher Lite. It fits in here. There are places here. There are 6. Well, we haven't done it yet, but this is where it looks like the tray is going to fit into. And that then secures it into this carriage. The difference with the Loft frame is that it's an 8-wheel carriage. So
with the Littlefoot frame.
I beg your pardon. I'm getting my little. I need more coffee, don't I? Okay, this is the Littlefoot frame. It has what's called a precision glide carriage, and this has 8 wheels. So where we had just 1 per section here, there are actually 2 instead, and they're angled. It's a bit like for people who, I'm not sure we have many quilters who know about lathes, but for perhaps people who use lathes, they are angled like this, and this precision glide system has 8 wheels instead of 4, and the Littlefoot frame is this has this carriage. So the difference here is that this carriage has to be substituted in order for it to work with a Simply 16.
Yes, so if you've previously purchased a Simply 16 on a Littlefoot frame, it will have this type of carriage. And you can use the Pro Stitcher Lite with your machine, but you have to convert the carriage and the tracks on your frame so that they work with the Pro Stitcher Lite system. It has to be converted to a 4-wheel carriage system.
I'm not sure that was my best explanation, Pete.
That's why I'm trying to help.
I know.
So the Pro Stitcher Lite does not fit in this carriage. So you cannot simply buy the Pro Stitcher Lite if you have an existing Simply 16 on a Littlefoot frame that you may have had for some years. You can use the Pro Stitcher Lite on it, but you will need a conversion kit to do so. Yeah,
and we have the pricing on it for the Simply 16 on a Littlefoot frame has a slightly higher pricing, and it's reflected on our price list, but it's possible, and you would just need to order it for a Littlefoot frame. And what I pointed out to you was that on the Moxie carriage with the 4 wheels, there were 3 points on each side with bolts on them, and it doesn't have it on this. So you can't attach it.
This is also a much heavier carriage, and the motors on the Pro Stitcher Lite are not sufficient to drive this carriage.
Yeah, if I was doing my weightlifting thing, I would have more of a workout with this, definitely. And it is for that reason. Not only that, but there are other reasons as well. But it's primarily that this carriage does need replacing. So there we have it. Littlefoot frame, Simply 16. You need a different carriage, and we can supply that for you. It is not a problem. You can use the Pro Stitcher Lite with your Simply 16 on a Littlefoot frame, no problem at all. And I've got to tell you, if you've got that system with the Littlefoot frame and you want to do computerized quilting, it is a great option because you can custom quilt those blocks. And you might have been doing edge-to-edge quilting and sort of moving along, doing edge-to-edge quilting. The computerized system of Pro Stitcher Lite is going to offer you a fantastic alternative to doing edge-to-edge. You will be able to custom quilt those blocks. So definitely have a look at Pro Stitcher Lite. I think you're going to love it. The other thing that we wanted to mention was behind me, I've got this big box here. When you get a Moxie on a Loft frame, you don't have necessarily, unless you've bought the quilting from the back kit, you might just have fresh air. There's a Loft frame behind me. It has this quilting from the back kit, 8-foot tabletop kit on it, but you might not have that. You will need this in order to use the Pro Stitcher Lite, correct?
On a Loft frame, yes. So that is because the blue Flexi rack, the blue track that Liz referred to earlier, has to be stuck down onto the tabletop, and
correct.
The standard Loft frame does not have the tabletop as standard. You may have it already because you have, as Liz mentioned, the quilt from the back kit already.
Yes. So you'll need this as well. But Pete, our pricing includes that, does it not?
It does.
Thank you. So we've included that in the pricing to make it easy for you. There is just one price. We've priced it all in so that you don't have to worry about adding up all these different components. We've made it a simple price. The pricing is Moxie with Loft frame as a price for that, and there's a pricing for Simply 16 with Littlefoot frame. So we've made it as easy for you as possible, but I'm just explaining what is included. Because you might look at the American website and American websites and it may look a little bit more complex. But we try and make things as easy for our UK customers and Irish customers as possible. So there we go. I think that is everything that we want to say on this video. That was unboxing the Moxie and Simply 16 Pro Stitcher Lite. I hope that's explained everything. If you have any questions at all, you can visit our website at www.pinholequilting.co.uk. We hope that you're excited as we are about the Pro Stitcher Lite. We've been waiting for it for a little while, but we are really thrilled with the number of people who've shown an interest. And we'll be running some classes later in 2022 when I get back from Salt Lake City. So look out for those too. So great, happy quilting. Bye now.